Hey everyone, Riju here, back with another video. The Steam version of Eterspire just released, and with it, a huge wave of new players coming into the game for the first time. I'm very excited to welcome the new players, and I hope everyone is enjoying the Steam release. From observing what new players' thoughts are, I wanted to create this video to go over one of the less pleasant aspects of any game, the monetization, and if it's pay to win or not. There have been some misunderstandings with respect to how the gear system works, particularly with fragment upgrades, and with the blessed and heart fragments in the shop, this has created a wrong impression on newer players. So I hope to clear things up with this video to answer if Eterspire really is pay to win or not. Starting with the shop, most players perusing this for the first time will realize two things. 1. 98% of the items in the shop are cosmetic, and 2. Some of the cosmetics are loot boxes. Now, understandably, loot boxes carry a generally negative stigma in the gaming community, and with good reason. Too many times have gamers been taken in by predatory microtransaction mechanics, whether in other MMOs or other genres altogether. However, in Eterspire, to emphasize, only cosmetic equipment is available from these loot boxes. Beyond the large wings in the Wings of Wonder loot box that provide 20% movement speed, there is no stat or any other aspect to gain from these loot boxes beyond cosmetics. And even the wings loot box is made up entirely of large wings, so a single pull costing only 100 crystals guarantees a large wing and therefore the movement speed boost. Secondly, once you receive an item from the loot box, it is removed from the pool, meaning that you cannot get it again. And thirdly, all items have the same probability of being obtained, removing any rarity weighting or skewing the chances of the more highly desired items like mounts or certain wing colors to milk you out of your hard-earned money. This is as fair as a loot box could be. Now, as I mentioned earlier, 98% of the remaining items in the store are cosmetic items, from armor sets, small wings that do not give movement speed bonuses, familiars, epithets, and fashion accessories. There's a large variety to choose from. Of course, we have to talk about the 2%, soul, blessed, and heart fragments. Now, while the fragments being present here may give you bad Korean MMORPG vibes, don't be alarmed. Yes, they are sold in the shop, but in all honesty, they are a terrible use of your crystals, as these can be easily obtained in-game using gold and other means. For example, scattered throughout Aetera, the name of the world in Eterspire, you can find treasure chests, and inside these treasure chests you can find a variety of gear, gold, or heart or blessed fragments. These rewards scale with your level, so it's actually preferred to wait to open all of these chests until you're level 160. A fellow community member, Cyan95, has a great guide in the Discord with the location of all of the chests in the game, so check out his guide to track all the chests down. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Now, like I mentioned, these chests can drop blessed and heart fragments, making them very easily obtainable in-game. Furthermore, these are sellable to other players, meaning you can also buy them from other players at the current market price of about 50k gold each, which is very affordable. Now, some players may ask, but Riju, I need at least 5 of these fragments to go from +5 to +10, assuming none fail, so it's at least 250k or more, which is a lot of gold. And yes, while technically true, you don't actually need to use blessed or heart fragments at all. Soul fragments, yes, the ones that you craft by the dozens with 3 of any shard, also allow you to upgrade from +5 to +10. Now, the success rate does decrease the closer you get to +10, and a failure means you go down to +5. Therefore, the best strategy is a combination of soul and blessed or heart fragments to get to +10. For instance, I generally get to +8 fairly easily with soul fragments, and then use 2 to 3 of the higher fragments to get to +10, since it only requires 2 successes in a row. Now, to put things in perspective, I have never bought any higher fragments from players and only use fragments that I craft myself from shards. I've also upgraded a lot of various Fate and Everfrost gear to +10, and I still have over 40 blessed fragments and nearly 30 heart fragments. You get enough to last you a while. So I want to emphasize, the presence of these higher fragments in the Eterspire store means nothing. It does not mean the game is pay to win. It does not mean that free-to-play players are locked out from upgrading gear, and it does not mean that there are predatory gear upgrade mechanics in the game forcing you to buy crystals. Now, we can't have an Is Eterspire Pay to Win video without talking about Infinite. Infinite is Eterspire's premium upgrade that requires only a one-time payment. For information on everything that Infinite includes, you can check out my video, Is Eterspire Infinite Worth Buying?, with the link in the description box below. For the purposes of this video, I'm only going to focus on the two main quality of life improvements that are the usual drivers for players to buy Infinite: teleport orbs and increased inventory and bank slots. In my personal opinion, the determination of whether this is quote-unquote pay to win should be decided by two things. 1. Does Infinite provide an advantage that allows you to participate in content that would otherwise be inaccessible or have an enormous barrier of entry to free-to-play players? And 2. Does Infinite provide power to the point of giving an unfair advantage to paid players over free-to-play players in group content? I emphasize group content because this is really where the only interaction with other players occurs. For it to be pay to win, there needs to be something to win. Now, for the first point, Infinite provides no removal of barriers of entry to any content in the game. Free-to-play players are, and have, cleared all content in the game just as well as Infinite players have. There is no content that a free-to-play player cannot do other than enter Hero Hall's Tavern, which is simply a hub map with all the NPCs that already exist in Stone Hollow. Therefore, we move to point 2. Does Infinite provide power to the point of giving an unfair advantage to Infinite players over free-to-play players? In the most technical of terms, no. No direct power is given, purchased, or provided to Infinite players that gives an advantage over free-to-play players in group content. However, one can argue that indirect power in the form of faster travel and easier inventory management is provided that can get you to this endgame content faster. While not direct power spikes to the character, they irrefutably provide a time-related advantage to Infinite players as they can teleport around Eterra freely and lower the inventory management required to play the game. This allows them to level up a little bit faster and gets them to the endgame content faster than a free-to-play player. However, with smart inventory management such as discarding trash mob drops, consistent crafting of shards and runes to soul fragments, and more frequent sales of materials to other players to free up space, it is more than possible to play free-to-play. It's just a slightly different gameplay loop than playing with Infinite provides. Infinite players are again provided the indirect advantage of a faster gameplay loop with less disruptions, if you see them as that. It's clear some players actually enjoy this type of self-sufficient gameplay, for example RuneScape's popular Iron Man and Ultimate Iron Man game modes. The game is not difficult or unplayable, it simply requires a different gameplay loop. I'd also like to emphasize the one-time payment nature of Infinite. With no subscription, you do not have to decide if paying this month is worth it or force yourself to play to quote-unquote get your money's worth. It's a one-time pay and forget it that provides permanent benefits to your account. It's a nice break from the subscriptions of other MMOs out there that also add predatory microtransactions on top. In the end, comparing Eterspire's monetization to other MMORPGs puts Eterspire honestly near the top in this aspect. There's no subscription, only a one-time payment with permanent benefits across all your characters with Deluxe, with absolutely no pay to win in the cash shop. Eterspire balances monetization with player satisfaction in one of the best ways you can. Cosmetics that provide no advantages for those that can support the game, and a permanent one-time upgrade for quality of life perks that do not lock any content out for free-to-play players. So to answer the question, no, Eterspire is not pay to win. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so please let me know what you think. I hope everyone is enjoying the Steam release, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.